let him stop. He's going to stop. 165. Three, two. Good. Cory Chilton from Iowa.
That's it? That's all you are?
That's all I am. So I got my hunter's education when I was about 12 and bought myself a bow. I think I had 2 paper routes. I'd run paper routes on my bicycle so I could make enough money to get that bow and arrow, and then I started shooting leagues and 3D shoots and all that, and I really got into whitetail hunting. And when season come to an end, I didn't know what to do. The rabbits and small game and whatnot was still going. Got done with that probably the end of February, and I didn't want to quit hunting, and so that kind of got me into coyotes because we could hunt those year round. And started, got me a predator call, just a little hand call, and go out. I think I got a rifle for Christmas one year, and I just started learning how to call predators. That could keep me out in the woods year round. So that was the start of it all, I'd say. Oh, it's what I do. I mean, I eat, sleep, breathe, finding property, getting access to stuff that I can hunt. And, it really started back in high school when I was trying to find my own property. You go on public ground and you got to deal with other people, and I just kind of like going off and doing my own thing. So once I got into finding a piece of property to hunt and building a relationship with the landowners, learning what they expect out of me and how to respect their wishes, it just kind of led into another property, and then they see that I'm doing what I need to do to take care of the issues that they have, and turns into referrals to other people, and then I get phone calls or word of mouth, and I talk about it a lot because I like to talk about it, but it just leads into more ground. So I keep expanding that, and I'm covering, I don't know, probably about 60 miles north to south and close to 100 east and west. So yeah, when it comes to these landowners that are doing what they can to live off the land and raise cows, providing meat for their families. You get into a calf, you look at the U.S. markets, and there's a lot of politics that go into how these things are all priced out. But that calf that was $200 maybe 5 years ago, that's a $1,200 to $1,500 calf now. So you get a coyote in there that takes one calf, that's a pretty good cut. And there's not a lot of people that can dedicate the time to do what I do when it comes to staying on top of them and being able to go out there in the middle of the night. We've all got day jobs, and running thermal especially, we like to run at night, so that gets into your sleep schedule quite a bit. But when you see what it does to their pockets, it helps motivate you to help them out. So I don't make a lot of money doing it, but I make sure that I cover my expenses, and that's usually well worth their dollar to pick it up on the other end so they don't suffer such a loss. In 2018, got into thermal, and that was a total game changer. The numbers of animals that you can see with thermal it was pretty incredible. I think the first night I went out with a thermal, I saw 20 coyotes. I don't think I went 3 miles from my house. which prior to that, I had no idea there was that many. I just wouldn't even think there was that many. But knowing that I got to that point and then how much area I can cover, I started researching, how many are there, and paying attention to what the biologist says. And I think in Iowa they claim 3 coyotes per square mile is the numbers that they run off of. And I don't know that they're far off, really. I love doing what I do, and I love sharing the experience with people. So that's kind of led me into trying to help other people get started and inviting other people along. And yeah, it comes back and bites me in the butt sometimes, but I think as a whole, it's a good thing to help keep the predators in check. I met Eldon, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I guess. We probably met through Facebook, and he was sharing some videos, and I thought he was killing so many coyotes. I thought he was out in western Nebraska where he's not really got a lot of pressure, other people hunting on top of him, and I really enjoy hunting with him, so I thought we'd get a Trail 3 in his hands too. I kind of converted him from Envision a few years ago and got him into a Pulsar, and he's really been loving the product. So I thought we'd get these Trail 3s out in the field and give them a shot. So we met up over in Nebraska it was a Monday night. We got this spot, we meet up in Walmart, kind of a tradition at this point, and try to get there around sundown. And the dogs weren't really acting good. I mean, a couple spots that we normally hit, get 1 or 2 to come in. It was just dry stands for the first 4 or 5 sets, and that makes for a rough start for the night, but we keep plugging away. And I got this thing with the moon. When the moon gets in a certain spot, that the dogs turn on, and it's just something I notice when we get to that point in the night. Activities picks up, and we got into some dogs. I think we probably ended up doing 8 or 9 sets. Nothing wanted to commit. Everything was staying 800-900 yards out. I got a new call. I was testing at the same time, and the image was great. I mean, we had really good conditions, so I think we got some nice footage out of those units. Their ergonomics are great. Battery was awesome. I mean, normally, I might be swapping batteries out on some other units, but I never had a single battery swap on that thing. And so we fast forward after that and decided to come over to this side of the river in Iowa. And I got a few spots that produce well for me, and so we knocked one out of the house right off the bat. Eldon, right there to your left, to your left, to your left. Shoot it. Shoot it. What?
Oh, yeah. Good little red one. Whoa. What do we got?
Man.
I said male, didn't I?
Yeah. I had to tell him 3 times to shoot it, but I think that one come into about 70 yards within the first 10 minutes. So that was a good start for the night. And then we had a few more stands. We saw some dogs, but they were staying out there, 500-600, running a new optic on even rifles that I haven't run before. Normally I'd take that shot, but I didn't want to take those shots with that equipment until I got some more time behind it. And I think we were probably 6-7 minutes into that set, and I saw some ear tips coming over the hill, and one of them split off to the left, and it was coming in real nice, within range, but it was still coming. And when I'm calling, I want to get some good footage, and I enjoy getting them as close as I can. So I was watching that one for a little bit, and I remember I saw 2 off the bat, and so I started scanning over to the right, and I found the other one was running some low lines and hiding. So typically, if he's on my left, he takes whatever coyote's on my left, and I'll take the right one. Let him get in as close as we can. I think I don't know how close that one got. I heard it was probably around 60 or 80 yards on the left side, but we were probably 90 degrees separation from where I was looking, where he was looking. And my coyote come into about 120, and I thought it was just coming straight into the call, and I was ready to shoot, so I barked at him, and that kind of switched gears and made him nervous, and he went into a trot and started circling around and hitting a low spot. I could hear Eldon kind of grunting over there like, what are we doing? Are we going to shoot or what? And just had some miscommunications there. So mine slipped around the terrace, disappeared. I switched up the sounds because I knew those two coyotes had separated. So I went from distress. I had bird distress going when they came in, and I went into a pup distress, like coyote got caught. Was getting into trouble, hoping that the other one was going to come in to see what was going on or try to save it, and they both just checked out. And then I got grumpy because I don't like not killing them, but that's the way it goes sometimes. We did one more stand after that, just basically about a mile south, that I could tell right away that, I mean, there was no response. I ran some sounds that typically get them howling, and I made a pretty quick set out of that one, and I just called it. I get this sixth sense about me that this is a waste of time, so we're going to move on. And we buzzed down the road about 2 miles to the east, backed up to the north. Big flat river bottom, wide open, and I think as soon as we got on the field, we could see one down in the corner. There was a coyote working the edge, just kind of mousing around at about 700-800 yards. So I saw that activity. I could see what that coyote was doing out hunting, looking for some grubs. So I started out with some rodent sounds and pretty quiet volume. I didn't want to blow them out. Ended up seeing 3 on that stand. I think we had that one way down there in the corner, and then I spotted one coming in from the north. We had a southeast wind. That coyote hit 500 yards. It was trotting in just perfect, and as soon as it hit wind, it just turned and went down the creek and disappeared. And yeah, I just kept calling, and I could hear Eldon going, oh, right here to the left. I spun around. We had a coyote at about 140 yards, wrapping around that terrace, coming right into the sound perfect. I think he saw us when I got to my gun. I come out of the mergers and I got on my rifle to turn over, and I think it caught some movement from me moving, and then it was just kind of trotting away. It wasn't too sure what was going on, and I gave it a bark, and I could tell, I could read that body movement, because I guess I've done it enough that you read that body language and just wait it out better than yelling at him, in my opinion. So I just waited it out and had to calm Eldon down. He was ready to start screaming, but dog stopped, turned broadside, 3-2 bang, and there was a flop. So we ended up getting redemption on that one, which felt good after watching 2 of them walk away. Yeah, just try. Take notes of your setup, wind direction, proximity. You know, if you do see stuff, get a little journal going and kind of pay attention to that. Learn from your mistakes. I can't tell you how many times I've been calling, and I mean, I preach this thing about the wind, watching your downwind side. You're going to get coyotes that haven't learned how to do that yet, and they're going to come right here on the upwind, and they're going to run right past you, and you're going to hear their feet pitter-patter. And yeah, you just pay attention to everything around you and keep trying, because you'll find a cycle. You'll find something that's really working for you, and you know, it's online all the time. It's on the Facebook stuff. Hey, you know, what sounds are working? I could tell you what sound worked for me at that time in that scenario, but coyotes aren't any different than people. They're in different moods, and you know, it's really about finding that trigger. They might want to fight. They might want to buck. They might be hungry. don't be afraid to try stuff, you know. I'd say probably push a little bit more volume than you think. When I first started, I'm very persistent, and everybody says 15, 20 minutes is a long set. You know, that's it. There's nothing coming. I'll stick around for 45 minutes to an hour, and I might play with that volume all the way up, all the way down. When I get really loud, I'm hitting a coyote that's maybe 2 miles away. They can hear that, and if they ain't got nothing to do and they're interested, they're going to head this way. Well, it takes a little bit of time to travel that. So if you just hang out a little longer, you get tired of listening to that call, turn that volume down to where you can't even hear it, but it's still going, because they can hear it, and they can hear it from a long ways out. Before you know it, you'll have coyotes at 40, 50 yards, and just keep trying. Persistence, you know, people think that I'm good at what I do, and nah, I'm just persistent.